Minutes away. They're gonna arrive. We're gonna give them the biggest cheer ever. Just like we're at the Middle Championship. All the players, I need you on the field. We're gonna give them a bunch of balls. They're gonna sign it. They're gonna give them out to the general public. We also have an ice cream truck coming. Free ice cream for the kids, not you adults, just the kids. Free ice cream for the kids. Only me. All right, guys.
I'll take me, you, and the mayor will go there. They're going to come on. Come here.
Second, gentlemen, look to the outfield. Parents, we practiced this about 10 minutes ago. It's our turn to shine. Are you ready? Look out there. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It's taking over the internet. We have everybody from Major League players everywhere doing this dance. It's amazing. The Jersey Shake is here to stay. All right, let's get going a little bit here. There's a few people that we want to give the opportunity to come up here and say a couple words. So I'm just going to take about 5-10 minutes and pass it on. So I first want to start off by saying good afternoon. My name is Jose Rojas, and I have the pleasure of being the vice president of Elmora Youth League. And very first, I would like to start off by saying, welcome home, 12U troopers and coaches. Welcome home. As you guys can see here today, we have plenty of people and fans, not just from Elizabeth, but from all the surrounding communities that want to celebrate in your amazing accomplishments. Congratulations, boys. You know that for many years, there's always been a saying that you had to go to South Jersey to find highly skilled and well-developed ball players. Well, spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. That is no longer the fact. For years, the northeast section of New Jersey, we have been cultivating some fantastic talent. And let me tell you, sons, that talent is right here in front of you, coming out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. You boys have put the state on notice, and be prepared. They're here for a long time. So I will say something interesting here today. We start this celebration here on Trooper Hanratty Complex, where it all started. The district tournaments that these boys embarked on at the middle of June started right here on these fields, okay? Many games were played here. And just so that you're aware, we can fast forward a few weeks, and here we are to the end of August. And I am proud, and you guys, I want to hear you cheer that we can call this group many things. And let's start, here we go. Number one, what you have in front of you is District 7 champions. Number two, Section 2 champions. Number three, and it was the big one, New Jersey State champions. Nobody better, nobody. And the big one, here we are, the Mid-Atlantic champions. And now we have the honor of saying that this is the first team from Elizabeth to ever make it to Williamsport and play in the Little League World Series. So boys, let me say, while you guys were all playing the sport that you love, let me tell you that the community started to become aware of how good you really are and all the wins you started racking up along the way. So funny things that fans had to start off by driving to your tournaments. And then it evolved, right? They had to download this thing that everybody had learned, ESPN Plus, to start keeping track of you. And they did. And then on top of that, they evolved to watching you on ESPN, ABC, prime time, gentlemen, prime time. So I do want to share just a little personal story here real quick. So I have a coworker, right, that gave me a call. He was on a plane flying from Colorado to California. And this was on the night of the Mid-Atlantic Championship game up in Bristol. So the funny thing is, he sends me a picture of himself, like a selfie, pointing to the screen on the airplane, watching your game, gentlemen. Amazing. Just think about that for a second. At that point, it really hit me. I said, we have done it. These boys have made it. The world is watching, and everybody now knows what we're made of and what we stand for at EYL. Another great moment that I want to make sure we recognize along this magical run was that we had the ability to tell our story behind why we're called the Troopers. And the man that inspired this league, Thomas Hanratty, will never be forgotten, and we will always recognize him as a hometown hero. Let's clap it up one time for that, please. So two last things. I know I'm standing between you and some really good speakers and some really cool ice cream. All right, so I'm gonna keep moving here. So the last thing I wanna make sure I mention is, hopefully you know by now, but Mayor Bolwich and the city of Elizabeth wanna make sure that you boys are really recognized, and they wanna throw you a parade. Okay, on September 6th, the town is going to celebrate with the entire city. Multiply this by many, okay? Get ready, everybody. So before I walk off, one more time, please help me with the cheer that made ESPN and Williamsport rattle. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna start it, you follow. Let's Troopers! Let's go, Troopers! Let's go, Troopers! Let's go, Troopers! Let's go, Troopers! Manny Medina.
Wow. Who can follow Jose, our vice president? Great job. I'm a man of not that many words. I am humble and proud to be a part of this board of Elmora Youth League. You boys, 10 years from now, will look back and can actually say you brought a whole community together for good. I remember having a conversation 2 years ago with two coaches, Sal and Gyro. They had a dream. They knew what they had. They knew the hard work that goes into it, players and coaches. And I'm proud to say I'm a friend. You guys taught me hard work does pay off no matter where you come from. So thank you. I want to thank the city of Elizabeth for all the support you have given this league team. I want to thank the mayor, Mr. Mayor. You became just a big kid. It was awesome just watching you cheer these boys on. Thank you. I also want to thank Rafa Bate, the man that chartered us Little League. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you. Also, Mr. Mayor, without you putting these fields here, we wouldn't be here. Thank you. With that said, thank everybody for coming. I'm going to pass the mic to the mayor, Chris Borage.
Thank you very much, Manny. I want to welcome all the parents and friends and family of the Troopers here to Hanratty Field. I want to thank Manny Medina for his leadership as president, and Ralph Abate and Jose as his leadership as vice president. I'm joined by members of the city council. First, a council member from this ward, Councilman Kevin Canary is here. Councilwoman at large, Patricia Perkins Augusti is here. Councilman of the second ward, Nelson Gonzalez is here. And Councilman of the fourth ward, Carlos Cedeno is here. I'm going to introduce the state legislators in a moment for a presentation. But I'd just like to say that I was at all 4 games in Williamsport, and I was at the championship in Bristol. And it goes back to about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when Sal Garcia texted me and he said, "This is really big." And I was watching the Troopers and following them, and Coach Labrador and Coach Aponte and Coach Garcia. I don't think this league could have picked 3 finer men to be mentors of 10, 11, and 12-year-old boys to compete in Williamsport and Bristol, Connecticut, and all the sectionals. Coach Labrador's comments at the end of the game in Williamsport will live on as long as Derek Escobar's catch to end the game when we won 2-0 against Rhode Island, which was a major league play with Yachty stretching at first base. I was sitting in a seat. So many Elmora fans stood up. I didn't see the catch. I had to watch the replay on ESPN, and I was like, wow, what a play. And then you watch all of these young men. There is not an MVP on this team. This is a team. They all deserved the victory. They all played together. They all deserve the MVP. You will see highlights of double plays that were started by Sal or Jaden Capodice's catch that turned into a double play, or J.R. Rosado's heart in not only pitching on Monday night, but coming back on Tuesday and pitching a really fine game after very little rest. But you'll also see the 7, 8, and 9 hitters hitting the ball, struggling, making plays, walking, and doing whatever it took to make the Troopers a winning team. This was a team effort. Somebody asked me outside about what's it like to be the mayor of a team that goes to Williamsport. Every 12-year-old boy or girl in this country wants a chance to play Little League Baseball in Williamsport. There were hundreds of thousands of kids who started baseball in the spring of this year with the dream of going to Williamsport, and these 13 men are the 4th best team in the entire country. I may be the mayor of this city, but these men are the city of Elizabeth. They represent the city. When Coach Labrador said at the end of the game that you brought a whole city together, that you represented the state of New Jersey, you did it with class and dignity. He was not only speaking about his leadership skills, but what these young boys have achieved. Whether there was a watch party at Williams Field, or there was a watch party here at Hanratty, or you were in Suspenders, or you were in Nugent's, or you were in the whatever bar you were in Florida. There were Dowlings in Roselle Park. I was getting texts and emails from mayors around the state talking about the class of Coach Labrador and how he handled the pitchers and the catchers and the team. I said to the coach out in Williamsport, I've been at all the games, so I haven't seen it on ESPN. But whatever you're saying when you're mic'd up is resonating throughout this entire state. And you should be thankful for not only your leadership, as we are thankful for your leadership, but what you instilled in these young boys going forward. There's not going to be many, many more players to appear in Williamsport that these young men will ever be able to say they were better than us. That's not going to happen. Because I went through that museum, I looked at those players, I looked at the stories in the museums in Williamsport, and all 13 of these boys can write their own story. All 13 of these boys with the parents out there can write a story. When I was sharing the platform and the stands with the parents, there couldn't have been happier parents, kids. You didn't get to see this, but I gotta tell you, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, and your cousins were extremely proud of you. They might have been, there they are. Garcia's 2 sisters. And I said, what do you think of your big brother? One had a little tear in her eye and smiled and said he's doing good. And you know what? I could go up to all your brothers and sisters and I bet I would get the same answer. And I gotta tell you, Coach, when you hug these kids and you give them a kiss and you thank them for their play and their leadership and their hard work, I think all of us wanted to be in your shoes when you did that, because you truly represented what's the best of Elizabeth by thanking them and hugging them for their commitment. with the committee, with Lily Duran and Kathy Volker and Manny Medina and others, and we are throwing a parade on September 6th that is going to rival any other parade. Some people say, why is it on a Saturday? Why is it on a Sunday? Why is it on a Friday night? We could never please everybody. I got to tell you, the group we want to please are these 13 boys and these 3 coaches. That's the group we're out to please in this parade. We have raised enough money to cover all of the parents' hotel costs for the last 2 weeks. Of course, we thank you for your commitment in following your kids and some of your meals. I've enjoyed working behind the scenes with Manny and Ralph Abate, and the corporate community has really come together in raising funds to help offset some of the costs, and the donation of buses. When we were 2 buses short, I called the president of Kane University. I said, I need 2 more buses in 2 hours. Can you get them over to the Dunn Center? And they were there to take people on Friday night. I remember going to the game and seeing a lot of people there Friday night, and all of you who took the ride. So come September 6th, if you have to work and you're a Yankee fan, I bet you take off to go to New York for the parade, right? Well, then you can take off and come to Elizabeth and watch these kids ride in some vintage cars and celebrate their success and their accomplishments with all of the rest of us. Because truly they've done a great job. I'd like to introduce some of the other big supporters in the electoral field. When I asked for help around the state and around the county to raise funds, I called friends. And one of the friends who stepped up is a senator from the 20th District, Senator Joseph Crine.
I know this is about Lily, but how about our mayor, the biggest fan for the city of Elizabeth? What a great speech. The world's biggest kid right now, Mayor Bowledge. Hey everybody, what a great time. I got to tell you, from the excitement, for me at least, from the excitement of being at the state championship game in Sayreville, which was an amazing evening, to Bristol, to how great is Williamsport to be a part of. Wasn't that amazing? It was a great game and a great experience. I'm with a couple of my colleagues. I know they're going to say hello, Assemblyman Holly and Assemblywoman Keano. I just want to let you know a couple things. One is, yes, tonight we're celebrating the city of Elizabeth and the champs that are here, the 13 great players and the great coaches. I want to tell you we're also, as Jose mentioned, we're the state champs. We're going to have you guys down to Trenton so the governor and the legislature can say congratulations to our state champs as well. And we can't wait to bring you down there. I only want to make a couple more comments. One is, and we were talking a little bit, I don't want to give them up, but sometimes you hear about youth sports and it's too individual or there's too much time. And what does youth sports really mean? It means what we mean standing here right now. It brings people together, it brings youth together, it brings the city together, and it makes everybody better when we're supporting our young people in whatever they want to do. And I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. And I want to leave you with 2 other thoughts. I thought, as somebody who speaks a little bit for a living, that the coach's speech, Coach Labrador, you inspired us all. All your coaches did. It was just an amazing experience. Let's give the coaches a round of applause. Parents, I got to tell you, the Williamsport experience, listening to the crowd scream was amazing. To the parents, thank you. Grandparents, as Chris mentioned, everybody who was out there. Williamsport was absolutely amazing, wasn't it, guys? Yeah. I will tell you this, Ralph probably shouldn't tell you, when the usher came up and actually asked everybody, said, hey, can you calm it down a little bit? We're in Little League. And I'll just say one of the guys, Manny knows, said, hey, we're from Elizabeth. We speak up when we want to. All right, and that was pretty cool. Last thing I want to say is this. You guys are the champs because of the way you played and the way you handled yourself on behalf of the city and what you did. But one of the other reasons you're champs is because you supported each other. And you rooted for each other to do the absolute best each and every time. That's a lesson you can carry not on a Little League field, but you can carry it for the rest of your life. Let's root for each other each and every time we have something to do, because together we're stronger than we are separate. And congratulations to the Go Troopers. I'll see everybody at the parade on the 6th, and we'll see you down in Trenton.
Thanks, Thank you, Senator. Our state representatives in Trenton, Assemblywoman Annette Quijano and Assemblyman Jamel Holley.
Good evening. I'm so excited to join all my Elizabeth neighbors to say Go Troopers and to congratulate our Mid-Atlantic champions. I wanted to make sure, along with my colleagues, that we presented a citation to every player to acknowledge this milestone of being champions of our state and being our national champions for the region. So thank you so much. But it also is a citation for the coaches and the staff that helped, because it does take a village. And one note, I want to thank the parents for believing in a dream, making a plan, and all the sacrifices you had to go through to make sure your young men got here and are the Mid-Atlantic champions. Thank you very much.
Let's go, Troopers! I'm gonna be real quick, because the Troopers brought the song home right to the city of Elizabeth. But I could not be more proud of these young men. They're not boys, they're young men. And they showed up like young men and made us all proud on TV and around this country and around this state, around this county and around this city. But to the coaches and your dedication on behalf of mentoring these young men, you should also be very proud of yourselves. But to this city, wow, what about community? Elizabeth showed community to these young men and these coaches, and as your state representative, I could not be more proud of you. I can go to the State House now and said, we got some world champs here in New Jersey, and they're from Elizabeth, New Jersey. God bless you all.
Yeah, very good.
On behalf of the City Council, Councilwoman at Large Patricia Perkins Augusti.
For what has taken place. It's a movement. It's a 21st century movement, and it's always good that children always leave a positive movement. You young men have really showed us what it means to come together as one city, united under one cause, and that is to cheer the Troopers on. Let's hear it for the Troopers. City Council, we love you, we adore you, and we want to say wish the league, Labrador, Sal, all the coaches, Manny, thank you so much to the parents. I know what it's like. We know what it's like. We have children. We understand. And I want to say again, let's hear it for the Troopers. Let's play ball. Let's always let our kids play ball. Let's hear it for the Troopers. And the jersey. You want to say something? Okay, that's great.
So now I'd like to introduce the coaches for words. I want to let everyone know, based on the radar, we have about 25 more minutes and there's weather moving in. So we want to make sure everyone's safe. And I hope you all come out on September 6th. I'd like to ask the coaches to join me up here. Coach Aponte, Coach Garcia, and Coach Labrador. I've already said enough about Coach Labrador. But I got to tell you, Coach Aponte and Coach Garcia were great supporters for Coach Labrador. Every time the game started, you had Coach Aponte hitting infield practice, outfield practice, working on the drills, working on the skills, warming up. You had Coach Garcia running the bench and doing all the work that's necessary to get the lineup in. One of my favorite moments of being in Williamsport was when the public service announcer would say, players, return to your bench. Managers and coaches meet with the umpires. They sounded rehearsed, but it was such a telling moment in the game. Coach Garcia, Coach Aponte, you were great supporters and great right hand to Coach Labrador. Coach Sal Garcia.
This is very overwhelming.
A few years back when we first came here, I didn't know Gyro, Louis. Because of Elmora, we've become family. Because of this team, we've all become family. I travel the state, I travel the country, and I always talk about Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I talk about how it's a big family, and we are a small village. We're a big city, small village. We didn't know what was going on outside. We were inside dorms, rooms. We didn't really have access to much TVs. We couldn't watch the games. We got messages from everybody what was going on back home, and we saw videos from Suspenders and Nugents and everybody. I know I preach about how Elizabeth is a family, but you guys made it real. It's easy for me to go out and talk about it and know people from small little circles, but this brought all those small little family circles to one place together. And I really want to thank everybody for proving what we always believe, is that Elizabeth is one big family. So thank you everybody here who supported us. And the leader who really brought this and brought all these families and Elizabeth's family together was Gyro. His speeches, his caring, his hugs for everybody. So I'm going to leave the floor to Gyro.
Yes, please, boys. What can I say? 3 years old, my dad came over from Colombia, brought us over here, Jefferson Avenue, Kings Manors, right? 1-bedroom apartment, right? To come for the American dream. This is the American dream. Community, Elizabeth, family, our boys. Nothing much to say, guys. I just want to say, I'll say it over and over. We are one. We are one. This does not happen with one person. This is the coaches, these boys, every single one of you, all the teachers that made a difference in my life and their lives, all the coaches that coached us up, coached me up, all the police officers, firemen, first responders, every single city official who called someone and helped these boys and helped this team and this Elmora board. This is such a real family. This does not happen without all of our members. I love you guys. You guys make these games happen, rake in the fields when nobody's here. You guys deserve all this credit too. And our former troopers who I love so much, who played, and you guys are all part of this. 4971. 4971. 4971. 4971. Let's go, troopers, boys. Troopers on three. Troopers on three. 1, 2, 3. Troopers! I just want to say when we close, when Gyro talked about Tommy Hanratty, I knew the Hanratty family really, really well as Tommy Hanratty and his father. His father helped start this league. Tommy played in this league. And when we built these fields in the 1990s, I asked the city council if they would name it in memory of Trooper Thomas Hanratty. I can only thank the board of directors of the Elmora Youth League for continuing to remember Badge 4971, Trooper Tom Hanratty, and the Hanratty family. We'll see you all on September 6th when the city will celebrate the troopers.
All right, everybody. When I started off, I told you I was going to be between you, these boys, and ice cream. All right? So, you have your option of going for some ice cream if you want to make sure you get it. But what I want to do is create a single file line. If you want to come up here, talk to the boys, get a signature, take a picture. Let's do it orderly, please. Start in this direction and come straight across. And let's beat these boys. While you guys are coming up first.
All right, we're gonna go to the next table. I'm gonna go, Bobby, that way. Go ahead. I'm gonna get your ball.
Okay, give me that.
Is that yours or his?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay. There you go. You got a ton of balls to sign. You ready?
Jeff singing on ESPN. That was awesome.
So I'm gonna
Okay. Nice job, kid. Did it come out?
That way. No, it's that way. Oh. I gotta collect my 4 balls, and then we're good.
Thank you.